probably is.
Have you seen this though? That they're trying to. People are saying that Scott Pilgrim is like a problematic movie, and they want to cancel it.
Yeah. I look. I get it. All right. Everybody wants to be unproblematic, and that's fine. Each to their own. Yeah, everybody has their own thing. Just you can not like something, but don't drag other people down to your level, okay? Because I might not like something, and you might like that thing, and that's fine. But there's no need to have uproar about it. Gone are the days where we could have opinions. Keep those
Preach.
opinions to ourselves, because everybody wants to give out something. They want their voice to be heard.
Say it
But
louder
at
for
this
them in the
point,
back.
you're just shouting into a void. That is the internet, because I just don't get it. I don't understand. Scott Pilgrim, that film is about a guy who is a fundamentally flawed character. He can't keep a relationship. He's
He's what?
kind
Is
of
it
in
22?
for
Something like that?
himself. Yeah, but the movie was never supposed to be like, let's hype up this one thing or whatever. It's just what the book for that matter. It's just a story,
Of a man
and that's
dating
it.
a high
That's how
schooler.
we will leave it, because it's fucking. Oh, I don't really know where to go with this.
Are you just? Is it getting to you?
I just don't understand it. It's because why do they want to cancel it? That's the thing.
I think I didn't actually see. I've just seen like little articles and YouTube videos pop up about it, but I'm assuming it's because I don't know. Maybe because he dates two girls at the same time, or uh, I don't know. Nothing. Genuinely, nothing springing to mind. Maybe because he's dating Knives, who's 17, which is underage, I guess.
So
Yeah, no. Who knows, man?
I get it. All right, those things are bad. You wouldn't do that in real life, but it's
It's a film.
from a time where maybe that was a little bit more acceptable. It probably isn't, but you know, it just depends on what you think is how
Exactly.
you class someone as an adult or whatever.
Mm.
I don't want to get too political with my things here.
Yeah.
It's not what we like to do on the show, but
We like to keep it light and breezy.
yeah, I just don't know. Like, you can cancel a lot of things, and that's fine. You've taken it too far now with Scott Pilgrim. That's
Not
my
Scotty
film.
P.
That is literally, it shaped a lot of, like, that's like one of the squares in which boys' personalities fall under.
Yeah.
And for a time, every girl might have wanted to be been Ramona Flowers around the time when the
This is
movie
also
came
true.
out. I think there's a song that's like something about she's like Ramona Flowers or whatever.
Mm.
I don't know. But any take on it?
I just, yeah, I think it's getting too much now. I just wanna drop kick a baby. You don't like it? Don't watch it. Keep it pushing. It's an 11-year-old movie. Oh my god, that makes me feel old. You can People who were born the year that film came out are going into high school now,
Yeah.
right? That and the first Kick-Ass as well.
Yeah.
They should call him Ass Kick. Oh shit! I dropped my phone.
Right. let's get into it.
The two damn cousins out, they're watching movies.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Reinventing the Real.
Woo!
Keeping it live and wired in your ears with some movie pictures. Here, as always, your hosts, Cameron and Curtis. Curtis, how you doing this week?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I've gotten back into jelly recently.
Oh,
Big fan of jelly.
very nice, very nice.
I've currently got this little Hartley's no added sugar jelly. You can see this right here. Look how cute it is. If you listen real close.
Oh,
it's a little
God
gift
damn.
for our listeners back home. That's going to be disgusting down the mic.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
yeah.
if you don't already know what it is, take our favorite movies, TV shows, games, anything, sports, as we did last week,
I really
and
enjoyed
we
that sports one.
make them into a film or TV show, respectively. Our own take on classics, things that aren't films or TV shows. You name it, we do it. Right here on Reinventing the Real. Play a record.
Yeah, boy.
Well, this week, spinning that randomizer, as always. You already know how it goes. If you don't know how it goes, listen with me. Say it next time. Spin that reel.
Alright, this is a film that I very enjoyed when I was younger, and I go back and watch it now, and it has some glaring issues, but the premise is very good.
Oh, is this gonna tie into the cold open? With, like cancelling.
No, it's not. Not that. It's just it could have been a lot better.
Right.
Alright, so it stars Samuel L. Jackson.
Right.
It also has Hayden Christensen in it.
Okay.
Don't know if that helps. We this week we got the movie Jumper.
Oh, and this film, this is a weird one for me because I feel like I've seen it, but I feel like I haven't seen it as well.
Yeah.
It's one of those ITV2 movies. You know.
Yeah.
It's just always on.
Back to the Future. Yeah. Hey, what randomizers we getting? What we getting? We got has to have a director cameo.
Oh,
I feel like
again,
this is just
we're in it. We're in it.
It's just every week now, isn't it? It's just. To be fair, we could tie this into the Men in Black Supernatural Matilda verse.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Has to have an all male cast.
Okay.
I still will. Yeah. And has to include a montage.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah? That's like what
Cool.
we could do, like the one in the pacifier. You know, like when he's putting up shit in the house.
Oh yeah. Is it that one or?
Yeah, is that one?
So you have to remind me then. What's this film about?
Okay, so the movie Jumper, I'm pretty sure 2008. I want to say.
Right.
Let me take a look. See, otherwise that's gonna 2008. My brain is full of pointless fucking information. Yeah, 2008. If I read here, a genetic anomaly allows a young man to teleport himself anywhere. While he uses his powers to rob banks, he comes to the attention of the paladins who intend to kill him.
Yes,
kind
you
of
say that and
vague.
it sounds familiar.
Yeah,
But
it's a guy, and he's like he's a nerd in school. He doesn't have many friends, and then he finds out, hey, I can teleport, and so he teleports away, and then he starts robbing banks. But I mean, him robbing banks is literally in the first like.
does
half
it
an
have
hour
like
or
a
something.
sad ending? Or it's like the ending's kind of depressing or whatever?
I
Does the kid die?
No, no one dies in it.
No, no.
No.
Oh, I
Oh.
must be thinking of something else then as well. But I do remember like someone teleported about in banks and stuff, and then they end up having like a penthouse apartment.
Yeah,
Does
yeah,
he have
yeah.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's that.
Cool. Yeah.
Um,
So it's in there, but it's locked away.
mm, in a bank vault almost.
Ah, mm.
No. Yeah, it made 225 mil at the box office, which is okay, especially for
Yeah.
2008. Yeah. What were you gonna say, sorry?
I was just gonna say, yeah. If we just get straight into this, then
Yeah.
make this jumper, McLaughlin and Rogers joint.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I like that. Like we're fucking Spike Lee or some shit. Alright. So, how do we usually do this? Is it I kick it off or yeah?
Yeah, any if you got any ideas, just run with it.
All right, so I think the movie had potential. I feel like movies like this are why I really wanted to do the podcast
Yeah.
because they had potential. You know, there's inklings of this could be good, but it's just not fully realized. You know, like
Yeah. Yeah.
they're trying to do too much. So I think maybe if it's like honed in and really concentrated, and so what I think we should do is to make it even bigger and incorporate it into the Men in Black Matilda universe.
Yeah.
With what were our names? Are they still just
Yeah,
McLaughlin and
just
Rogers?
McLaughlin and Rogers. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah. It's a lot easier to remember that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say we start in the year. All right, it's a year. It's a year. There's like a kid.
20XX.
You say 20XX.
Yeah.
The year is 20XX. Yeah. Yeah, so there's a girl sat in the back of class and she's just like looking out the window, you know, and she's like whatever, not really paying attention.
Mm.
And then the teacher's like, so, Melissa, let's call her Melissa.
Right.
Melissa, are you paying attention? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, no, you know, she's a real like outcast, back of the class
Mhm.
kind of thing. And the teacher's like, wow, it's nice to see that you're paying attention. Or it's like some sort of zinger, but the class is like,
Yeah.
oh, ha, 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 ha. Look at this dickhead. And she just like goes, puts her head down. And then her friend, like Katie, like looks back and looks at her and like kind of smiles. And she's just like, yeah, whatever. And then the bell rings and she's like walking out of class. And Katie comes up behind her and she's like, hey, you know, don't let her get you down, blah, 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 blah. It's all Gucci. Well, she doesn't say that, but you know what I mean. She's like, it's all gravy, baby.
Yeah.
And like she like runs off, to like catch up with her boyfriend or whatever, and like it kind of goes in slow motion, and you see Melissa look at her like, you know,
Right.
or maybe there's like a forbidden love thing
Yeah.
going on there, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. So then she's just like walking home, just like dragging her feet, you know, so on and so forth. And she's got her headphones on and she's listening to like, where are you? And I'm so sorry. Like, and it's kind of like, you know, like in Twilight when she almost gets crushed by a car.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but she doesn't have a vampire to help her. Yeah. So like
So
she
she
looks up
does
and
just
she's
get.
like, oh, and you're expecting this to be the first time that she teleports, but no, she gets hit by the car.
Oy.
And she wakes up in hospital and her legs all broken and shit like that, and you see her mum like rock up. Her mum's like wearing her work uniform still. She works at a diner, and then
Yeah.
she works somewhere else as well. So she's never at home.
Mhm.
And she comes out and she's like, what are you doing? Why can't you pay more attention to where you're going? Blah blah blah. You know, that kind of
Look
thing.
both ways when you cross the street. Come on.
Exactly. them little hedgehogs would be real disappointed in you. Wait,
Yeah.
real quick. Do you remember those creepy adverts with the kids? And they were like, "This is the story of a little boy. He didn't look both ways before he crossed
I
the
think
road."
so.
And they
It
had like the
sounds familiar,
fattest
actually.
heads, and they're all shrunken and oh Jesus, scary stuff. Anyway, so the mum's like blaming her, and she's like, "Oh God," and then the doctor comes in, and he's like, "Oh yeah, hey, you know, your daughter almost died, blah blah blah," and the mum just kind of starts like openly just flirting with the doctor, not
No.
really paying attention to the daughter or whatever,
Good.
you know.
Damn. It's not very
What's
nice.
that?
That's not very nice. Bloody hell.
Exactly. So it's just stupid shit like that. So you just see this girl hasn't got like the best life or whatever. Um, so then she goes back to school, and like her Melissa's boyfriend is like the head jock bully guy, dickhead, whatever. And he's
Right.
like, "Hey, think fast!" And he like throws a football at her head. Um, and like she's like, "Oh, here it comes," and it's like a close up on her face, and her eyes are closed, but nothing happens.
Oh,
And she's like, "What? What?" And she opens her eyes, and she's like, some random place, like in the mid. I can't even think of an example.
damn.
Like Mount Everest. I don't know. Yeah, she's stuck on
Bloody
Mount
hell.
Everest, and she's like, "What? What the hell just happened? Where am I?" You know that kind of.
Yeah.
Um, and she starts freaking out because obviously, and she just closes her eyes and starts rocking back and forth and hoping that she's thing. And she ends up like just back in the middle of her class, and like a gust of snow comes with her and shit. And she's
Yeah.
just like rocking back and forth, and everyone's like, "What the hell are you? You know, what's wrong with you fucking weirdo?" And she just gets up and like hobbles out because she's on crutches.
Yeah.
And Melissa comes out. She's like, "Hey, wait, um, Katie, was that her name? Katie?
Yeah.
Yeah, Katie, wait." And she like runs after her, and then
And then,
and then
so she runs after Katie. And was it Katie's boyfriend who threw the football, or was it her boyfriend?
Katie hasn't got a boyfriend. Katie's
Katie's
the
her friend.
teleporting. No, Katie's the main character.
Oh, I thought Melissa was the main character. I thought Katie
Nah,
was a friend.
Melissa's the friend. Melissa's
Right.
boyfriend is
Okay.
the
Okay.
is
Okay.
the num 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 dickhead.
Right. 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 Katie is the main character. No, sorry. Sorry about that. Right. Two, three, four. So they go in. Now, and she's all like, "No, what do you want? Like, what's up with you? What happened to you? Maybe she didn't know, like she got hit by the
Yeah.
car or whatever." She
Oh,
was
son of
like,
a
"Well,
bitch! I just
huh?
remembered we got all male cast, didn't we?
I was thinking that. Now I thought, is he put it as
Oh,
is it all female maybe? But we'll
it's
switch it around.
fine.
It's
We'll keep it pushing.
yeah." And because when you first said about that, I was like, is he gonna pull like a bait and switch here, and it's gonna like some guy's gonna teleport in the middle of the class, and then like shit's just gonna go, like in Rick and Morty or something, when they just come in, like all hell would break loose and like people would die
Yeah,
around them and shit. I thought that was
yeah,
what was gonna happen. That's what you were like setting it up for. And I was like, oh my god.
yeah. No, it's been some real mundane high school drama. Girl has a shit life, and then I
Yeah.
remembered it's an all male cast.
Well, she goes up to Melissa, and Melissa's like, oh, what's up? It's like, oh, I thought something weird just happened to me. I just closed my eyes and like I was just somewhere else. And she's like, oh, I do that all the time. I wish I wasn't here. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
She's like, no, but this is really like I felt it. I was like in some snowy mountain. It was freezing. She was like, yeah, sure thing. Sure you didn't get hit in the head when you got hit by a car or whatever. Like, but I'm telling you, yeah, all right, cool. Well, you need to stop watching TV so late and just you're very imaginative. I love you. You're my best friend, but you got to calm it down. I can't be seen like this. Like, yeah, all right, yeah, I'm sure it's nothing. But it keeps playing on her mind and stuff. And she's like, she goes home after this school day, and she's like, right, I need to recreate this. So then like, oh no, wait, she's like, oh, she's laying in bed, and she's all comfy, you know. She'd have to get up if she wanted to go somewhere to like, maybe she wanted a drink. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, let me try this again. And she like squints really hard. She like scrunches her face like, no, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. So then she's like thinking, and like she like looks at her bedside table next to her, and she's like, well, maybe if there's like a force here, you know, it's like a
Mm.
something that triggers it. So she like picks up her phone. She like dangles it over her head, drops it, and then bam, she smacks her on the head, and then it still doesn't work.
Yeah.
She's like, what the fuck? Just rub her head, like, oh, for God's sake. She just gets up and then like goes to get a drink. She starts going downstairs, and then like her mom comes to the door, like, oh, okay, I'm home. She's like, oh, mom. She like starts falling down the stairs, closes her eyes, boom, lands back on her bed. She's like,
Yeah.
Jesus. And then
Yeah.
her mom was like, "Okay, you alright? Your crutches are down here." She's like, well, I. She's like, "Oh, it don't matter. I'm going out. I'm going on a date. You know that hot doctor from the hospital? Yeah, well, he
Yeah.
asked me out. So don't wait up." And she's like, "Okay." And she's like, she doesn't care what she just said. She's like, "It happened again. Do I have to just like throw myself down the stairs every time I want to do this?"
Yeah.
And then, meanwhile, it cuts to like this lab down in the thing. It's not us yet. It's not us yet. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. I was getting excited.
And then
Yeah.
it's like, sir, there's been some unidentified readings. Like, pull them up. It's
Mm.
like in this school and on this mountain and twice in this house. I'm like, do you think it's his power? It's unsure, but we'll keep monitoring it and telling you. Good. I need to collect it all, and then I can finally be complete. Back to Katie, and she's like,
It's some
I'm
awful
still
one
there's like
shit.
a
Okay.
there's still like some. She's having a montage. That this is where like the montage
Yeah.
coming of her like
Kinda,
chucking
like,
herself
training and...
around. She's trying to figure out how a good way to like,
to activate.
you know, yeah.
Mm.
She's like throwing herself against the wall, like just beating herself up and stuff, and like she like does it occasionally. She's like, yeah, but she can't get it down to like a science. So then cuts to like maybe a few days later, she goes to the hospital, and they're like, oh, you don't seem to be improving very much. Like you're you're very
You've got
battered
more
and bruised.
bruises.
Like, is everything okay? And she's like, oh, it's just I haven't been adjusting to the crutches very well, and then like they're like, oh well, we're gonna have to do an X-ray quickly just to see. They're like, yeah, that's fine. So she goes into this X-ray machine, and then like they're like, all right, just shut your eyes while you're in there and that. And it's all good. She's laying there, and then like they're like, all right, it's all good. Bring her out, and they like pull it out, and then she's gone. What the hell? Where's this? What, huh?
Yeah.
And she's like laying there, and it like pans out from her face, and she's just like on a beach, and like maybe a volleyball comes flying, like hits her in the face. She's like, ah, what the hell? This character's just being like beat up loads in this film. Jesus.
Nishinoya, save it!
It's like, oh shit. And now like that maybe like I don't know where she is. She looks off to she goes to some shop up there, and it's like, oh, a postcard with love from Spain or whatever. She's like, Spain? How the hell did I get here? And then like back at the hospital, there everybody's like, oh my god, what's going on? They're all looking around for her. She's like, did she leave the room? Like, check the security footage and all that. And pretty much this girl's end up stranded in Spain. And it's been like 3 days, and she can't like activate her power. So then, like, the news has covered it, and they're like, oh, this girl, she seemingly disappeared when having an X-ray. The doctors have tried to recreate it, but it just can't seem to work. And
Her
it's
mum
kind of
still
like,
hasn't noticed that she's gone.
yeah, her mom doesn't care. It's
Yeah.
whatever. But then like um since when
Oh.
our main foil comes in, and he's
Oh,
like,
okay.
it's the guy from before who you just saw like the back of his head, but he's like, yeah, I'm with the IBC, International
The
Bureau of Care or whatever.
irritable bowel syndrome.
I'm with the IBS.
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah! You said C.
Yeah.
Syndrome, but it's spelled with a C.
Oh. He's like, yeah, I'll be taken over here. And he just shows like flashes a badge, but it's nothing. It's
Yeah.
literally nothing.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, all right then. Well, he's like, well, there's been some temporal flows here, and you know, I can
Sci-fi mumbo
trace.
jumbo.
Yeah, I can trace it back to or location. Or so they're like, wait, so she's like, she like jumped somewhere. I'm trying to insert the name of the film in there,
Yeah.
and
And
he's
look at
like,
she's
well,
first. She's
not
here. She's
specifically.
there. You know, she's everywhere. Like, what? Do you think she's some sort of jumper? Calm down, kids. We wouldn't want to have a panic at the disco. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, yeah.
And
So
so she's like enjoying her time at Spain, but then she's all like, I need to get back. Like, I need to get the cast off. I'm jumping around here, like hopping along. Maybe she's like using a stick to go around. She's been sleeping in the streets and stuff, and she's like, right, okay, maybe I don't need to like throw myself around and stuff. Maybe I just need to lay down, think of the place really nice. So she lays like kind of around the same place where she started. She
mm.
thinks and she thinks. And then like she's trying to concentrate. There's all these people around, and then she just hears a helicopter. And, like, the blades get louder and louder. She looks up, and then this helicopter's landed on the beach. Like that volleyball game's been like played on for like 4 days or whatever, and they're still playing
Yeah.
or whatever. And then it like the ball goes flying into the rudders or something. They're like, hey, what the hell? And then so this helicopter lands, and it's our guy before, and he's like, oh, Katie, uh, today. That's a weird second name.
Nah, it works. Yeah.
Katie, today,
Nice.
you need to you need to come with me. I'm going to take you back home. And he's like, oh, who are you? He's like, well, my name's not important, but I know you've been experiencing some uh oddities of lately. She's
Wait,
like,
this
well,
is this
this is the
yeah, is
big,
this
this is the
the,
guy
the
who's at the
villain guy?
hospital. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know you've been experiencing a lot of these lately. I'm gonna help you out. We'll get this, uh, we'll get this out of you. She's like, oh, okay. She's like reluctant, but she boards the helicopter, and then what goes on next?
Okay. So she hops on the helicopter and it's like chicka, 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 chicka. You know how helicopters be. Ahaha.
Yeah,
Um. So she's on the helicopter and just in the back of her head she has like like radio static kind of tuning in.
yeah.
And it's like, can you hear it? It's the wrong frequency, you dickhead. And she's just like, what the hell is that? Like what's going on? Yeah. So she like shakes the ear because she's like, oh, it was probably just something good. I'm losing my mind. I'm teleporting. I'm hearing voices and shit. Um.
Hmm.
So then she's like sat with the guy on the thing, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm with the the IBS IBC?
IBC,
Yeah,
IBS.
I'm with the IBC. We just want to work towards making the world a more even place. We've noticed that these anomalies have been popping up all over the place, and there are so many
Yeah,
individuals with this power and they don't know how to wield it properly and blah blah. But he
yeah,
sounds a lot less sinister than this, but
yeah,
but he is sinister.
yeah,
So he's like, it's my job to help those who have come across this power by accident and to find a more appropriate home for it.
yeah.
Yes, it's a win-win for everyone. And she's just like, okay, I mean, that sounds a bit Hitlerish, but okay. We keep it pushing. We keep it moving. Um, so she's just sat there, but again, and she can hear the,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
know. Um, and so she ends up back at the facility and so on and so forth.
Hmm.
And she's like, she's like clamped in. There's like a clamp round her neck, like
Jesus.
you know like the power blocking one from like Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
That kind of one. And she's like, "Oh, what's this for?" And he's like, "Oh, it's nothing crazy. It's just so you don't like accidentally uh like teleport out in the middle of the thing. We wouldn't want anything wrong to happen to your power there or anything, you know." And she's like, "Oh, you mean me?" And she's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, of course, sorry."
Yeah.
Um, and so she's starting to get like a real it's a bit dodge. This is a bit dodgy. I don't know. Um, but then she realizes that she can't teleport. Um, but like the voice in her head now is louder, and they're like, "Hello,
Yeah.
hello, hello, hello." Oh, thank God, we got
Uh,
her. All right, whereabouts are you? And then you hear in the background, "What do you mean, where is she?" It's like, we know where she is roughly. If we can pinpoint her voice, we can pinpoint her. And if we can pinpoint her like frequency or whatever, you know, science fiction mumbo jumbo, we can
yeah.
pinpoint her location. And you hear, "Oh yeah, why didn't I think of that?" It's like, because I'm the fucking brains. Come on. And I was like, "Oh yeah, blah 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 blah." And she just goes, "Excuse me, what's going on? What's all this?" And they're like, "Don't even worry about it. Just be ready." And she's like,
Oh.
"What?" And he's like, don't worry. Just be ready. Just be ready." So they're like, so she's like locked in the thing and everything, and she like goes to one of the guys. She's like, "Excuse me, can I have some water, please? I'm a bit thing." And he just like looks at her and goes, and, like spits on her.
What the fuck?
Well, no, I'm joking. That isn't a need that. She's like, "Can I have some water?" And he's like, "Yes, of course." And then like he starts speaking a different language, and he's like, you know, scum. She's undeserving of that power. You know, something like that in a
Yeah.
language that he thinks that she won't understand. But she's
Mm.
like hella smart, so she speaks like better languages. Maybe it's like Japanese or something, and she's a fat weeb. Uh, so she, so this is where she goes, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna die." So she starts like getting ready and everything, and she's like shitting herself. And then this is where the big boss comes in, and she's like, "I'm not getting out of here, am I?" And he's like, "It took you long enough." Like a real sinister voice comes out of
Yeah.
nowhere, you know, like to figure all this out and blah blah blah. And this is where he does his whole like, you know, the human race is impure. It's our job to blah blah. You know, like a real
Yeah.
evil monologue. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, you can hear like a beeping in her head, and the beeping's like getting faster and louder. And she's like, "I'm sorry. Can you turn that down?" And he's like, "Turn what down?" He's like, "Dude, it's just me talking. You know, I'm explaining my plan. You know, you're being really rude right now." And she's like, "Can you not hear that?" And he's like, "Hear what?" The wall bursts open. Yeah,
Duh.
grappling hooks come in. Yeah, three of his guards go like flying backwards. Yeah, he gets hit with like an alien like grappling gun thing, and it sends him shooting backward and stuck to the wall. And he's
Damn.
like tied up and like, and he's like, "What?" He's like, "Who the hell dares?" And it's us.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. You know, like Men in Black suits, looking clean
Yeah.
as fuck. And we're like, "Oh, thank God, we were looking for you." And she's like, "You're the voice in my head." You know, so I'm not going crazy. And we're like, "Oh, no, 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 no." Well, I mean, you could be. I don't know. You know. Um, but yeah, no, we're here for you. And she's like, "How do I know you're not gonna? You're like try and steal my power as well?" And I was like, "Well, you know, it's either you can stay here and we can leave. You know, like we have no real stake in this." And she's like, "Yeah, no, no, no. Come on. Where are we going?" And so we like hop in. We all go in like a car, you know, like the flying car from Men in Black or whatever.
All right. Yeah.
We
Okay.
hop in one of those, and you see Melissa sat in the back seat.
What is her name? Do you mean Katie? Bro, I've been calling her Katie. I swear to God, at the start, you said Melissa was her name. You just said
I'm
Melissa there.
so I've thrown myself. Katie's the main character. Melissa's the friend.
Yeah.
Is that what I
Yeah.
said?
Yeah. I think so. You said that afterwards anyway. I just went with that. I'll be calling her Katie, so
Who, the main character or the friend?
the main character.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Alright. So the main character's friend is also in the back seat,
Alright, okay.
and she's like, "Oh my god." Insert main character's name here. We've been Oh, you were so worried. Blah 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 blah. And then this is where we see a flashback, and like it's the two of us like at the school trying to figure out what's been going on, because we've
Oh
also
yeah.
been tracking like the anomalies and everything. And like
Yeah.
we bump into the bully, and he's like, "Why does anyone give a shit about?" You know? And then we just like pop in
Oh
front of
damn.
everyone, and they're like, and you're like, "Hey, Rogers, maybe not to a child." I'm like, "Oh yeah, sorry." You know. So and then we see Melissa, and she's like, "Oh, you know, I'm looking for her as well. How can I help?" And then it goes back to modern day. And then what happens?
Now we arrive at the we arrive back at the school, and then she's like, they're like, all right, this is just stop. And then like Katie's about to get on. Oh no, not you. Though we're just talking to her. And she's
Mm,
like, oh, what? Why can't I come as well? It's like, can you just look here for me, please? Oh, you realize,
yeah.
it's like you've been at school all day. Yeah, you know, you're about to go on a date with your boyfriend, or if he says you had nothing planned, keep pestering him because he needs to take you to a nice place. And don't forget
Yeah.
that keep your grades up, and one day you might be able to be like
Stay off
us.
drugs.
And we just speed off, and then she like just thinks up, and then I need to ring Jordan or whatever. So then we go down the road,
Yeah.
and she's like, "All right, so you're taking me to another facility. I think I've had my fill of facilities. I just want to go home. Like I've been in Spain for like 4 days, and like we're like, oh look, this guy, we've only temporarily like stopped him. You know, he's gonna keep coming after you. We need to make more of a
Like a
more
permanent.
yeah, permanent solution. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh well, what do you need me for? It's like, well, we're gonna take you in. You know, you've got a special power. There's someone who had this power before you who we were trying to track, but
But they
around
died
like
or something.
around like around the time when she got a leg, you know, she got hit by the car. This is
Yeah.
when like that was when he went off the grid or whatever, and then she started popping up with his power. So,
Yeah. It's like a yeah. It's like one that like will randomly manifests itself in a different person. Yeah.
yeah.
Jaffel.
And so she's like, we're like, yeah. So you can either learn to like, we can try and help you best we can to like control this, or you know, we can take it out of you. We're not gonna do anything with this power, or it will most probably like just find its way into another person. It might put that person in danger as well. But we need to shut down this group before it gets any bigger anyway.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I need to think about it because I don't even really know how to use it properly, and I don't want to have another time where we're in Spain. He's like, look, we get it, you know. We weren't always badasses ourselves, you know. And you go, maybe I was, not you. I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever. And then, so like, look, there's people here at this facility who could help you out. You know, you don't have to do it. You know, if you want to stick to your life, you want to just live a normal life, that's fine. That's fine. If you want to go on cool adventures, and you know, maybe save the world here and there, then this place might be for you. She's
We're really
like, well,
selling this up. Yeah.
I don't really know about all that, but maybe I'll try learn how to use the power. It's like, well, perfect. Follow us or whatever, and we end up like going down that chute. Was in like the
Yeah.
first thing or whatever, and then so there's someone there. It's like, I don't know. Let's call her Rhonda or whatever. Like, oh, Curtis and Hammond, you're back.
What the fuck?
You found out
Oh
the girl
my
yet?
god! Oh my god! Sorry, that caught me
We're
off
like,
guard.
oh
Sorry.
yeah, got her now. She's like, oh, it's just a teleporting one. Shall I prepare Jonesy for the temporal radiation or whatever? And we're like, nah, that won't be necessary. She wants to learn it, and she's like, oh, fair enough. And I'll catch you boys later. And she like goes off. She
Give
goes off,
warning before you just
and
bust out
then
the shit
she's
like
like,
that.
oh, that was a lot. It's like, well, you ain't seen nothing yet. And she was human. And then like some alien thing just walks past, like flapping its arms or whatever, and she's like, "Oh God,
Yeah.
okay."
It's like.
And then so she goes into like, "Oh, we use short range teleporting every now and then. It costs a lot of money to use, but for the sake of this, we can put you in it and get a feel for it." She's like, "Well, the thing is, like, sometimes it's triggered this way and sometimes it's triggered that way,"
Yeah.
and then she just explains how she's been throwing herself around and stuff and all that. Then we're like, oh, okay, well, maybe this will help. And we're like, oh, think of that office in there, right? Through there. And she's like, okay.
Mm.
And we have like this little device. And we press it and zap her, and she goes, ah, pff, shoots right off into there. She's like,
Oh, son of a bitch.
huh? What?
Yeah.
And she's in there. She's like, she opens the door. Oh my god, that was awesome. Like, can I try that again? She's like, well, yeah, but don't go too far because we kind of need to. Boom, she's gone. Like, oh, son of a bitch. Why'd you give her the thing? What do you mean? Why'd I give her the thing? She asked for the thing. Oh, now if she's got it, boom, pops back up. She's like, I don't know, got 3 ice creams or whatever, and she gives them out to us, and we're like, oh, I can deal with this.
Mm.
But we're like, oh look, we're gonna have to go because this is all the time we have in the budget for us. But we're gonna leave you in the capable hands of Roderick or whatever. And then some
Nice.
hot guy comes out, and she's like, "Oh my god, love interest, all that basic stuff." And he's like, "Oh hey, so I don't
What's
know if
cracking?
this is gonna sound any appealing to you or anything, but we're gonna have to use you as bait." She's like, oh yeah, okay, sure. And then we just look at each other and feel like she wasn't listening. All right, well,
Yeah.
enjoy
Anyway,
your
all the best.
time. We might pop up back later in the film. And she's like, oh, what?
What?
And then we just
Don't
gone.
worry. Yeah.
And so they're like, yeah, so I'm sure McLaughlin Rogers said, they didn't really stop him fully, did they? She's like, something like that. So she's like, well, we're gonna need to maybe lure him to you again. He wants this power. He's already got like a few other powers from people who we weren't able to get in time, but there are some others who are like you out there, who we did manage to gather up, and then she maybe there's a backboard or something, and there's like pictures of people, and you got like Matilda on there, and like
Yeah.
the emotionals are in the top corner. It's like
Yeah.
you can only see
All of our
like the
classic
side of their heads, or
characters.
yeah. And she's looking through all this, like, damn, there's a lot of crazy people in this world. And like, oh, you don't know the half of it. And then
Nice.
phone starts ringing. 2, 3, 4. It's 2. Oh, sorry, I just need to get this. Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean he's moving? He's going. What? But we don't have time. She's not ready. Like, oh, fine. I'll deploy her. All right, kid. You're gonna have to go out. Kid, aren't we the same age? Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm your superior here. And she's like, all right, where am I going? She's like, well, Times Square. He's already started. Times Square. That's in New York. Well,
Yeah.
he's taken over. He's gone crazy, and then it just cuts to that, and it's like, it's like massive in the air. Things are cars are flying around him. He's got electricity shooting off him. His eyes are all. He's like, I'll draw these freaks out if it's the last thing I do. I'll take every one of their power. And then what happens there? You bring us to the final act of the film. Yeah.
He's just cackling. He's like, yeah, or something like that. I don't know. He's going ham. And she's like, stop! She's like, you need to stop it. And he's like, haha. And so you've returned. He's like, you silly little girl. He's like, this is where I suck all you. I'm gonna suck the power out of you. I need to word that carefully because that was,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And she's like, no. She's like, I didn't know what I was doing before, but now, I mean, I still don't know what I'm doing, but I'm here. And he's like, oh, I'm so scared. Like, ooh, like really like taking the piss out of her. So
Yeah.
she's like, you can see she's like trying to focus, and she's like, all right, if I breathe really carefully and do all the steps and the blah 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 blah, and she's like, and and she goes to teleport, and she opens her eyes, and she's in exactly the same spot,
Oh.
and she's like, what happened? And he like he like speeds
Oh.
up to her and grabs her throat, and he's like, did you really think you could do that? He's like, who do you think you are? And then you get like a little flashback to them being like, oh yeah, she's like, well, so what happens if I open my eyes during the teleportation? And they're like, oh, Lord knows what could happen. He's like, you could end up like split 6 different ways. Pause.
Oh.
Or something like that, yeah?
Yeah.
So she's like, all right. She's like, oh, that's the only thing left I could do. So he's like grabbing her and he's like beating the shit out of her face. So she can't. So she'll be unconscious. So she can't teleport away or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, I finally got you. Any last words? And she's like, yeah. She's like, right in hell, you son of a bitch. And she teleports, but this time with her eyes open. And you just see everyone, like, you see the two of them, like, shattering and jumping around and through, like, time and space or whatever. Because maybe her closing her eyes means that she just moves through space. Yeah. Her with her eyes closed means that she just goes through space, but with the minute she opens her eyes, it, like, breaks the seal or whatever, so she ends up through time as well, but there's no way of, like, controlling that.
Yeah.
Which is why they're like, yeah, just don't, because we don't know what could happen. Wait, say something?
Hello.
Oh, that's odd. My headphones.
I think your headphones died.
Yeah,
because your mic's
still
changed.
alive. I can still hear you. Okay, anyway, we'll keep it pushing. We keep moving.
Yeah,
Sorry.
okay.
So then she's like, hello? So then she is like, so she teleports, but because her eyes are open, they like shoot through time, and you see him go flying, and he's like, ah! And she like kicks him through like a little temporal like time hole or some shit like that, and he ends up like back in the past, but we don't find that out until like right at the end.
Yeah.
So he's just there he is, he's gone. And she wakes up, and she's like, what the hell happened, where am I? And she's in the back of her class again.
Oh.
And the teacher's like, have you paying attention there, Kate? Melissa? Kate? You paying attention, or do I have to repeat myself? And she's gone back to the beginning of the movie.
Oh.
And she's like, what the hell is going... Okay. And she goes to leave the class, and she sees what's her name again. And she's like, how was class, blah, 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 for you, etc., etc. And she's like, you seem different. And she's like, I feel different. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'll see you at lunch. And they're like, yeah, cool. I'll see you then. So then she goes off to run to go get a lunch or whatever it was before. And again, she almost gets hit by a car.
Oh, Lord.
But this time, she looks at the car and just like teleports on top of it.
Oh.
And she just goes, huh. All right.
Oh.
And then it cuts to black.
Oh. Time.
And then there's like a little post-credit scene, and it's her, like, so it's the two of us on like a mission of some kind or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're like hunting down this an alien or something, and she pops up and like takes it down for us.
Oh.
And she's like, it's something to the effect of, "You guys really make this job seem a lot harder than it is," and we're like, "I mean, yeah." Uh, just one question: Who are you?
Uh,
Um, and so it's her meeting us that makes us go and find her, which makes her go back in time, which makes her meet us, which makes us meet her. Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah, it's like a loop sort of
Like
thing.
a
Yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah, like a little time loop.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe earlier, yeah, when she's like, oh, how do you know like my name or whatever and where I'm from? Because we're like just
Ah,
wailing
right.
off stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah. There are like little
I
hints
see.
here and there, and the reason that we know this stuff is because we're friends with her, but from the like in Tenet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like yeah, I like that. Yeah, cool. And then the post credit scene is you just sit there. Oh, what a beautiful little baby boy. Yeah, what are you gonna name him? And they're like, "Oh, I don't know. We were thinking maybe Hugo or whatever the name of like the main big
The,
bad was."
yeah.
And he's been like sent back as a baby,
Oh,
and you just see his eyes open. So maybe
they're
he's
all
got like
blue.
the one blue eye, one gray eye, whatever thing,
Yeah.
and you see the baby's eyes just open, and it's that, and you're like, oh, he's been sent back as a baby.
Who knows what can happen with it though?
Mm.
Find out in
Next
the
time.
eventual crossover of the real verse.
Are you gonna play the the Ace of Spades? The Ace of Spades. I don't. That's yeah. Anyway, that was our take on Jumper. I think that has franchise material.
Yeah,
You know.
I feel like this deserves a sequel because
Yeah.
she's not much. There's not much she did, but she could really be like a mainstay, like quite a
In this.
a hard a character who can change the change the outcome of a situation, or
Exactly. Oh.
yeah,
I like the idea. I don't know when, but I really like the idea of making a big thingamajigger, a big crossover film with
oh,
everyone in.
100%, hundred
But
percent.
I feel like that's gonna take like at least a solid month of us
Yeah, we're gonna have to like connect all
yeah,
the other stuff, and then like this is gonna it'll be planned. It won't be just like, oh yeah, and
yeah,
this wing, and yeah. No, this will be
yeah.
like, all right, Act One, getting together. Act Two, there'll be
It'll
like
probably be a couple of episode thing.
oh, maybe yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
it-
yeah.
my
I say
my
we
thought
yeah,
off the bat, it would be like Act One, oh, they're all coming together. Act Two, they can't work together. Act Three,
yeah.
they finally learn to
Maybe
work
one of them gets
together.
killed or something. Yeah,
Oh, imagine, jeez.
yeah.
It's like
Okay.
Mona the Vampire season 2. They had to recast her because Mona died.
Yeah. I feel okay. So out of our classic people, we've brought
Yeah,
back the Men in Black Us. We've brought back
of course.
Matilda. I
Yeah,
Scooby Doo, but I feel like that's its own thing though.
that stands on its own. I feel like
yeah,
it could be alluded to, but it wouldn't
yeah,
be like it.
yeah.
Like it would
No
be like, oh, coming up next, an all new
episode
Mystery
of
Incorporated. Yeah,
yeah.
like it's a TV show though. It's not. They're not like Scooby Doo's gonna come out and kick ass. No, no, no.
Oh, that's one we have not touched since we made it.
Well,
The Dora the Explorer.
to be fair though, I said the villains from that were they came back in
In
Matilda
the
at the
James,
end,
yeah, yeah.
and they were like, oh, they got the bad guy there, and they're like, pick him up, yeah, that sort of thing.
What crazy roots we've got, man. I definitely I want to do another Inside Out one,
Yeah,
but like as a different heist maybe, or a different type. I don't know. I really like the
That
idea of
was
like
a
different.
franchise, to be fair. Like we had to make that
Yeah,
into a franchise. So
I liked the fact. I think that was the first one to me, but really. Wait, maybe we should end the episode and then do and then do a podcast meeting.
yeah, all right.
I forgot we was. Anyway, yeah, we've been reinventing the real. You know, just two damn cousins watching movies, etc., etc. You can check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all of that, Twitter.
Spotify,
On
Apple
YouTube,
Music,
we also do real reactions. Keep an eye out on our
reactions.
TikTok, which is also reinventing the real. We have all our little clips and stuff pop up. Not to mention, soon we might be having new things. Who knows? Keep your eyes open. It's the summer. I've been Curtis.
And I've been Cameron.
See you later,
See
man.
you next week, man.
Good